This is Channel 9 Eyewitness News this morning. Coverage you can count on.
This morning, state troopers are investigating a crash that killed a man in Orange County. What we're learning about the teenagers in one car that was reported stolen.
And rain and storms on the way. We're off to a dry start, but look at this. Back to the west, you see this area of rain that is headed in. I want to time that out in a very busy week ahead.
And a live look over the nation's capital this morning, where lawmakers are set to vote this week on whether to raise the debt ceiling, the impacts that you may notice if they can't reach a deal. Good morning to you. I'm Carla Ray. Your time right now, 5 a.m. It is Monday, April 24th.
And I'm Alexa Lorenzo. Thanks for starting your week with us. We get you ready weather-wise with certified meteorologist Brian Shields.
Yeah, and for us this morning, off to a good start. As the day goes on, we're going to see that better chance of rain rolling in. Good morning. Hope you had a good weekend. Numbers now running in the 60s and 70s, 68 degrees Kissimmee, Hunters Creek, Lake Nona, back into Orlando, Winter Park, Winter Garden. We get over toward Oakland, Windermere, Claremont running in the 60s, 63 Astatula, Leesburg, Mount Dora, 65 in the Villages, 63 Ocala, 64 in Bushnell, 70s for us in Brevard County. We're at 74 in Cocoa Beach. We work our way into Volusia, 70 in Daytona Beach, mix of 60s and 70s up the coast from Ormond Beach back into Palm Coast this morning. Pretty comfortable temperature. Satellite and radar picture for us as of now looks good. This is what I'm watching next. You see this area back here, area of disturbed weather that is going to slide in this afternoon and bring our rain chance up for sure. So let's get a look at that as we hit the afternoon. Now this morning, clouds increase, and then you see through the afternoon, here's to Barry. By 2 o'clock, a 70% chance of some rain and storms around, scattered about all the way through this evening. So I want to track that out further. I want to get into the city by city rain totals and then more areas of rain as we go throughout the rest of the week. All right, it is 5:01, so we get a first check of our drive on this Monday morning. Alexa.
A live look at I-4 eastbound right here near State Road 429, the on-ramp there. Drivers dealing with some construction through this stretch, but it is in the clearing process, and all those lanes will be open again soon. Live traffic tracker showing you a nice start in the Metro Orlando area. No issues on the 417, the Turnpike, or the Beach Line. We do have a minor crash this morning, but we're not seeing too many delays building around this one just yet. This is Old Winter Garden Road and Lancelot Avenue. Right now, law enforcement agencies in Central Florida are investigating 2 different shootings that left teenagers hurt. The latest happened around 4 o'clock yesterday morning on Casino Avenue in the Tangelo Park area. That's where Orange County deputies say they found a 15-year-old boy who had been shot. He was taken to the hospital and is expected to be okay. Deputies didn't say who may have shot him or why. And about 5 hours earlier in Seminole County, Altamont Springs police responded to a shooting on Newburyport Avenue, just down the street there from City Hall. Officers say 18-year-old Tremari Thomas was shot inside a car. He was taken to the hospital in critical condition. Detectives believe the shooting may have stemmed from something that happened at a party somewhere else. They want anyone who may know something to call Crime Line.
In Palm Bay, detectives say the suspect in a 69-year-old man's murder is now behind bars. Justin Giambanco is now facing charges in the suspect's death. They say that he killed the man near Dixie Highway and Palm Drive on Thursday night. Investigators say that Giambanco is a violent offender with a long criminal history, including an arrest for battering a police officer just 6 days before the murder.
We are seeing far too many violent repeat offenders being released way too early for either shortened sentences or because of minimal bond amounts.
And the police chief says that his department is now working with the state attorney's office and local lawmakers to get violent criminals off the streets for good.
Today, a Volusia County judge is set to hear motions before a murder resentencing begins. Investigators say back in 2004, Troy Victorino and Jerron Hunter broke into a Deltona home that Victorino had been evicted from. They were trying to find a video game console. Then they stabbed, tortured, and beat 6 people to death. Their death sentences were overturned back in 2017 because of a state Supreme Court ruling requiring unanimous jury decisions in death penalty cases. Proceedings are now set to begin tomorrow morning. The U.S. is inching closer to defaulting on its debt.
You are looking live over the nation's capital this morning, where lawmakers are set to vote this week on whether to raise the debt ceiling. But right now, Democrats and Republicans still aren't seeing eye to eye.
Right now, the Florida Highway Patrol is investigating a deadly crash in Orlando. You can see the heavy damage to this car after troopers say a group of teens sped through a red light and hit another car. It happened just off the 408 near Dean Road around 4:30 yesterday morning. Channel 9's Q McCray joins us live at the Florida Highway Patrol headquarters, and he's working to learn more as a lot of people, Q, are watching this case.
Yeah, and at this point, we're still waiting to get more information about what led up to this car being stolen and then taken on a joyride. So we are live in front of FHP this morning. All we know is that there were 6 teens inside the car when it got into this crash. And of course, this is a story we're going to stay on top of. Once we get that update from FHP, we'll let you know. But we also found out that this wasn't the first fatal crash at that intersection. As a matter of fact, there have been several. And we spoke to a mom who lost her son in a motorcycle crash at that same intersection last year. You'll hear her story and her call for action coming up in 30 minutes. Reporting live, Q McCray, Channel 9 Eyewitness News.
Happening today, teams from NASA will talk about plans for an upcoming spacewalk.
Yeah, the mission is set for Friday. 2 crew members will install hardware on the International Space Station to support future upgrades to its power system. The agency is set to speak about how important this work is to life on the ISS. We'll bring you that update on Eyewitness News at 4. Meantime, take a look at this video. It's an explosion that happened during one company's testing of a new rocket. In less than 10 minutes, we'll explain how that explosion has delayed a crucial mission that was set for next month here on our Space Coast.
Coming up on 5:09 on your Monday morning, we check your weather and traffic every 10 minutes. Rain on the way, Brian.
Yeah, and we're watching it here in the Gulf of Mexico. You see all that cloud cover and wet weather there. That's what's going to be moving in for us later today. Now, this morning, though, off to a good start. Actually, a pretty decent sunrise on the way once it starts to come up in the next hour. So tracking those temps, you see the numbers. 9 o'clock, 74. Then we top out around 80, 81. Early afternoon, and then we'll see the temps go down because we have that rain that will be moving in. So outdoor workers for us early this morning, just 20% chance of a shower. The afternoon, 60, 70% chance of rain. Try to get in that outdoor work on the early side if you can. And we're always going to be mindful of that lightning. So I'll track the storms with you moving across for today on Future Track next. All right, it's 5:10. Alexa.
In our live and drive this morning, already checking out our highways to let you know what you'll see once you hit the roads. So far, things are moving as they should on the turnpike, on I-4, 408, 417. Our issue this morning is on 95 right here in Volusia County. You can see 2 lanes blocked. I-95 moving northbound just before the exit here to Indian River Boulevard. So if this is typically part of your drive, you'll see crews blocking those lanes to work that crash. Down into Brevard County, 95, though, in Brevard is clear. No issues on A1A. We're moving smoothly in Titusville and Cocoa Beach.
These gas tankers are on the road again after serious flooding in South Florida. Coming up, the impact that weather has had on what you'll pay when you fill your tank today. Plus, the Brevard Zoo has a big reason to celebrate this morning. How they're caring for some endangered animals that were just born. And have you seen this yet? A major fire at Disneyland out in California as hundreds of guests watched. Coming up next, the change you may notice at Walt Disney World now. It's 5:11.
Drone 9, only on Channel 9 Eyewitness News, getting you closer over the scene of breaking news.
Drone 9, sponsored by StrataAC.com. You ought to call Strata.
Severe weather updates on WFTV are driven by Toyota of Orlando and Toyota of Claremont.
Welcome back. Your time right now is 5:14 on this Monday morning, giving you a live look where I-4 meets the 408 in downtown Orlando. Alexa's watching the roads for you this morning, of course, as you get out the door to start another work week. We're covering our theme parks. You may notice a change at Walt Disney World after this. Over the weekend, a 45-foot tall dragon caught fire during a nighttime show out at Disneyland in California. You can see it here just covered in flames as guests watched from a safe distance. Now, none of the show's performers were hurt, so that's the good news. But investigators are still trying to figure out what caused this. In the meantime, Disney is pausing some special effects from its parks around the world. And that includes this fire-breathing dragon that's used in a parade at Magic Kingdom. That float also caught fire back in 2018. You can see that happening in this video. Disney says that the float will still be used in the parade. It just won't breathe fire for now.
The debut of a rocket that will one day be used on our Space Coast has been delayed, and it's because of this explosion. It happened during testing last month for the ULA Heavy Lift Vulcan Centaur rocket. As Channel 9's Melanie Holt explains, the company says it will fly when it's safe to do so. Meantime, our next rocket launch is just a couple days away. We'll tell you when SpaceX hopes to send into orbit and what it plans to send into orbit ahead at 5:30.
The 2023 Florida Puerto Rican Parade and Festival is in the books.
If you didn't see it, you definitely missed out. Oh, yeah, it was a party. Everyone was dancing. These are just some of the sights and sounds we brought you live right here on Channel 9 on Saturday. This year's parade honored the town of Luisa, but people from all different cultures told us they will definitely be back out next year.
You were saying it was a little warm for a parade.
It was, but it didn't rain, and that's what I asked for.
Yes.
So next year I'll be more specific in my requests.
And I did send you food,
No, you did
but it was very hard to describe the location, so it was hard
Robinson
to get
and Rosalind?
So you just ate it yourself?
There was a lot of, and then I had to send someone through. I ate it myself. Let's get you outside. Here's a look at what we got going on for us. Into downtown Orlando, we're checking in at 68, winds north-northeast at 3 miles per hour. Sunrise is going to be at 6:51, and that sunset close to 8 o'clock now. So there are the numbers, 60s and 70s this morning. Mid-60s, Benel, Beverly Beach, Flagler Beach, Palm Coast. 67 now as we work our way from DeBerry, Deltona, Lake Helen, Kalamazoo into Sanford, Lake Mary, and Heathrow. Get back through Oviedo, Maitland, Winter Park, Orlando, all running in the upper 60s over toward Avalon Park and Waterford Lakes, Lake Nona, Hunters Creek, Kissimmee in the 60s. 63 now, Claremont, Groveland, Howie in the Hills, and Montverde up through Astatula and Mount Dora. 63, Bellevue and Ocala. 64 now in Bushnell and St. Catherine in Sumter County across I-75. There are the winds coming in onshore, Cocoa Beach, little easterly breeze for us through Melbourne and Palm Bay. This morning, we're looking good, at least for the morning drive. We have some clouds starting to move in. Clouds are going to quickly build, and then you see a blob of rain back to the west. That's going to help give us the storminess later. So the morning mainly dry. Anything outdoors, try to get it in early. Spotty showers and storms midday in Castleberry, and then you see as the day goes on, some wet weather moving in. So the week ahead is active. Let me get you through that. Here's your 7-day forecast. Not going to be a washout. Tomorrow's rain chance down, a 40% chance of some scattered storms, 83. Back to about a 50% chance of scattered showers and storms Wednesday and Thursday. A stalled front keeps some moisture around even as we get toward the end of the week and the weekend. Eventually by Sunday, we'll see a front working in, and that will bring us more in the way of settled weather next week. But I want to get back to some of the rain totals and the downpours for later today. I'll see you in a couple. All right, right now it is 5:20, still early on the drive. Let's get over to Alexa.
Live traffic tracker showing us we are off to a nice start on that Monday morning drive. No issues for you on I-4 in Osceola, Orange, or Seminole counties. We are moving nicely as you head out the door this morning. We do have one crash, but it is minor. You can see right here it's reported on Boggy Creek Road and J. Lawson Boulevard. We're seeing some slight delays on Boggy Creek this morning, moving through the area heading southbound. Again, just a minor crash at the intersection of Boggy Creek and J. Lawson Boulevard. Bad news for Florida drivers. The cost of insuring your car is skyrocketing.
Everything's just slowly like nickel and diming its way up.
Yeah, still ahead, 9 investigates what's driving up those premiums.
And new this morning, what we're trying to learn about the person accused of setting fires in and around a local hospital.
And a new survey suggests most Americans think buying a new home just isn't possible. How financial experts say you can make it happen. It's 5:21.
This morning, we're checking for updates in a crash that killed a man and hurt several teenagers in Orange County.
Coming up, what the mother of a victim in a different crash at that same site says needs to happen to keep you safe on that road.
And some rain moving in for us later today. So I want to time that out specifically and then get into some of those rain totals. It's 5:26.
Watch Eyewitness News from any device with Eyewitness News Livestream, sponsored by Bogan Munz & Munz. Choose results. Choose Bogan Munz & Munz.
This is Channel 9 Eyewitness News this morning. Coverage you can count on.
This deadly crash in Orange County is under investigation this morning, and it's at the same spot where this woman lost her son in a wreck last year.
It hits different because no one should ever lose anybody.
What she wants to see done to make your family safer.
And we're tracking the rain and storms. Tracking the rain and storms on the way. A higher chance of wet weather today. I want to track some areas of stronger storms as well.
And flooding down in South Florida led to the highest gas prices of the year. What you can expect at the pump now that those tankers are back on the road. Good morning. It is 5:30. Thanks for starting your week with us. I'm Alexa Lorenzo.
And I'm Carla Ray. Brian's all mic'd up and ready to go for our weather in a minute.
Yeah, good to go. I know, right? I mean, people would like that, I think, better. Let's get you to it. Here's a look. Good morning. We have some wet weather on the way today. Hope you had a good weekend. Now, you see where we are. We're looking okay. I'll get into that in a second. But look back toward the Gulf. See a lot of cloud cover and some rain where the radars can reach. This is pumping our way for later today. So at least getting out the door. Closer look on the dry side. Things look good. Clouds are going to start to filter in as we go throughout the morning. It'll be a nice sunrise. Sunset, we're going to have those storms around. Comfortable start overall to the day. 60s and 70s. 63 Leesburg. Howey in the Hills, Claremont, 68 degrees in Orlando. Now, as the day goes on, I mentioned the clouds moving in, it will be active. So here's a look in Orlando, for example, Orange County. Clouds build at 10 o'clock, spotty showers and storms at noon. And then you see by 2 o'clock, up to a 70% chance of rain and storms. And on top of that, some good downpours today. So coming up, I want to track those rain totals city by city. All right, it's 5:31 and we are on the move this morning, the very latest with Alexa.
On the 408 this morning, making our way into downtown Orlando right here near Crystal Lake Drive. Things are moving nicely on our highways as you get out the door. Live traffic tracker showing you I-4 is all clear. No problems on the turnpike. 429 quiet and calm, just how we like it at 5:31 this morning. Our crashes are minor and in the clearing process. This crash is Boggy Creek Road and J. Lawson Boulevard. Also watching another minor crash. No major impacts here along Old Winter Garden Road. Crews clearing at Lancelot Avenue.
Right now, we are asking Florida Highway Patrol if anyone will face charges in this terrible, deadly crash. State troopers say a teenager in a car that had been reported stolen ran a red light and caused another car to flip, killing the driver inside. That happened yesterday morning on Dean Road near the 408. It's around the same spot where this woman says that her son died in a crash just last year. Channel 9's Q McRae is live at FHP headquarters for us this morning. And Q, that woman says more needs to be done to keep people safe.
Yeah, she told us she'd like to see some new signage up, maybe some traffic signals, anything to make that intersection safer. In the meantime, FHP here is doing its best to get to the bottom of this deadly crash Sunday. Now, when it comes to the investigation, FHP is still working on finding out exactly how this car was stolen. We understand they reached out to the vehicle's owner. We should get an update on this investigation later on this morning. Reporting live, Q McRae, Channel 9 Eyewitness News.
SpaceX has confirmed a new date for the launch of a Falcon Heavy rocket from our Space Coast. That launch window is now scheduled to open on Wednesday evening at 7:24 from the Kennedy Space Center. The big rocket is scheduled to send several communication satellites into orbit. When it goes up, you can see that launch on Channel 9 and on WFTV.com.
New this morning, you will notice some bad news if you need to stop and get gas on your way to work or school. Prices here in Florida have surged over the last week, up by an average of 15 cents a gallon. Take a look. The average price right now is $3.71 a gallon. This time last week, the price was $3.56. AAA says historic flooding in South Florida caused widespread gasoline outages, and that meant relocating fuel supplies from other regions. All right, 5:40 now on your Monday morning. Brian, more rain and storms headed our way.
Yeah, exactly. And again, a lot of us need the rain. Of course, we're going to see some downpours as well as we swing through the afternoon. So the morning, we're on the dry side, at least early in the morning, getting out the door. Now, as we go through the day, this just gives me a feel of what we could get. Some of us get 1/10 of an inch of rain, kind of glancing, passing showers, not a whole lot. Others, you know how it goes, get dumped on. And where we get that, especially I-4 to I-95, that's where we have a higher chance of some rain. We could get a couple inches of rain. So we are going to see some spots, 1 to 2, even 3 inches of rain later today. So I'll get into that more in a second. Winds will be out of the east today, a little bit breezy. That will keep us comfortable. So clouds build in, temperatures stay comfortable, get up to about 80, and then we start to go down because by 3 o'clock, we're going to have some of the wet weather around just in time for after school. So with that, dressing the kids, have some of that rain gear today and for yourself. Now, this morning, we're in good shape, as I mentioned, but Have that rain gear for later today. Of course, if you hear the thunder, please get inside. We don't want to mess around with any lightning. Dry to start. We'll get that rain later. So I did update Future Track. I want to show you that. We'll go hourly to take you through the day. Then the rest of the week stays active. I want to get into that as well next in Maine weather. All right, right now, 540. Let's see what's new on our drive. Alexa.
In our Live and Drive this morning, we are heading into Seminole County to check out a crash along I-4. It's reported on I-4 moving westbound just after State Road 417. Those delays will start to build as those crews rush in to clear this crash. Again, I-4 westbound after State Road 417 this morning. Then taking you down to another crash we're monitoring on I-4. Delays also starting to stack up here. This is I-4 still moving westbound. This is right near 535 Apopka Vineland Road. One lane reported closed through here. Local organizations have been working hard to help those who are living on the streets.
There's still a growing number of people that are experiencing homelessness here.
Coming up, the change that's helping them get more people into a permanent place to live.
Plus, bankruptcy for Bed Bath & Beyond. Your final chance to use up those coupons. And next.
Food expenses have gone up, you know, the gas, the fluctuation with that has gone up.
We're all feeling it. 9 Investigates explains how you can save hundreds on your car insurance coming up. It's 541.
Download the WFTV weather app. Get a localized forecast from Tom Terry. Just search WFTV. Brought to you by the Law Offices of Attorney Dan Newland.
Involved in a car accident? Call me now, 407-888-8000.
On Feud.
Name a way a woman likes her men and her cheese.
You either nail it.
Sharp.
Or fail it.
Full of adventure.
Where are you going?
Family Feud.
Stop all this adventure.
Brought to you by Regions. At 11, we slow things down, digging into the day's big story with context, analysis, and a deep dive into how it will impact you. Find out why more Central Floridians choose WFTV tonight than any other late-night newscast. Live tonight, only on Channel 9. Traffic updates are sponsored by Mercedes-Benz of South Orlando.
It's 5:45, and on average, it costs roughly $2,000 a year for full car insurance coverage in the U.S., but data from Bankrate.com shows it's significantly higher here in Florida. Channel 9 investigative reporter Shannon Butler digs into what's driving this increase and how much it'll cost you. Meantime, you can save some cash through Florida's toll relief program. We'll tell you how much money the average driver is getting coming up in less than 10 minutes.
5:47 on your Monday morning. How was your weekend?
It was good. I spent it with her yesterday, so that was terrific. That's always a bonus. So.
All of us worked the weekend in some way.
Yeah, that was good, as maybe you have, and that's one of the things, you know, around here, people we're working all the time. Everyone's working, so yeah. How was your weekend?
So good.
Good. Parade was fun.
Yep.
A little bit hot.
Hot, but
okay.
Not raining.
Good stuff, and that was very important. Today, different story. We're going to see some of that rain work in. Let's get a look outside. Flags are flying in Daytona Beach. 70 degrees, winds northeast at 7 miles per hour. That sunrise at 6:49 and that sunset 7:56. The sunrise will be nice. By sunset time, we're going to have some of that rain around. Right now, let's begin with that 60s, 70s as we get out the door, get off to work and school. 64 Bushnell, 63 Claremont, Groveland, Winter Garden, back into Orlando, Avalon Park, all in the upper 60s, 70s around Brevard County, Lotus, Cocoa Beach, Satellite Beach, Indian Harbor Beach, getting back toward Ormond Beach, Holly Hill, some low 70s. Onshore breeze this morning. We'll have those winds out of the east as that day goes on. But here's what I'm really watching again as we go forward. The clouds are going to be building in. So the clouds build in. This morning we're dry, but we're going to start to see some of the clouds from the west start to move in. You see the batches of rain storms back in the Gulf of Mexico right here, and that's a preview of our weather by the time we hit the afternoon. 7-day forecast on your screen. You see how active we stay. 60% chance of rain later today, 40% chance tomorrow, then a 40% chance of scattered showers and storms Wednesday and Thursday, even a 40% chance on Friday with highs in the 80s. I want to get back to the rain totals and watching that system as it starts to work in. I'll zoom down to that. I'll see you in a few. It's 5:49, so we get back over to the drive this morning. Alexa.
We start with this crash that I'm watching. It's I-4 westbound just after State Road 417. Delays are starting to stack up through this stretch. A live look right here shows just one lane of traffic moving on through. So we're seeing quite the impact for drivers through this stretch this morning. Over to the coast, we do have a minor crash that is causing some issues. You have lanes blocked on I-95 moving northbound just after Indian River Boulevard. A live look at that crash this morning off to the shoulder now. So this is in the clearing process.
All new at 6, some lawmakers want to crack down on a battery they say can be dangerous. Ahead, how experts say you can keep it from starting a fire in your home. Plus, right now, Altamont Springs police are investigating a shooting that seriously hurt a teen. What they think happened before those shots were fired. And your next trip to Magic Kingdom could look a little different. How this major fire at Disneyland in California is forcing changes here at home. It's 5:50.
In this morning's GMA First Look, call it the California Gold Rush 2.0. Nugget Nick Preblick comes from a family of gold miners, and they're preparing for a gold rush of their own.
It could turn into a gold rush. In the 1800s, there was hardly anybody here, and the word got around, and there was hundreds of thousands of people.
This time, Mother Nature is making gold easier for the treasure seekers to find. While facing drought in recent years, California has seen extreme weather this season. Record snow, heavy rain, and rushing waters, sweeping long deposited gold downstream. And GMA was there to witness these 21st century prospectors in action. So, will these fortune seekers actually find gold? Well, it's coming up at 7 a.m. With your GMA First Look, I'm Mike Ajachi, ABC News, Jamestown, California.
Good news in the battle against homelessness. A local organization says it's helping more people in Orlando get off the streets and into a home. This morning, state troopers are investigating a deadly crash in Orange County.
At the top of the hour, what we're working to learn about the teenagers who were in one of those cars that was reported stolen.
And we're dry right now, but back to the west, you see here the cloud cover, the rain. That's going to work in later today. I'll track the rain and storms on the way. It's 5:57.